Alright guys, welcome to another Tuesdays in the Attic, week 2 of Dusty Attic Sketches. I've got 3 photos of my son eating a cupcake, random. They actually kind of go with the pictures from last week that we scrapbooked with our 2-page spread. This will just be a single lovely kind of grid style spread. I like this one. Very versatile. You could do a lot of things with it actually. But I've got these 3 photos that are going to go with that and the spread from last week. In his album, same event and everything, just him being silly eating a cupcake. So that was one of the treats. They got to do all those activities, and then there were treats and snacks and stuff inside at the school. So we're going to play with that. I think I'll bring in whatever I have left over from that scrap room kit last week, but actually I decided I think I'm going to play with my How to Kill a Kit with Style. I will have a little card popped up there so you can see what my kit's all about, but I think we're going to play with some of that. So let's get started. I actually ended up having enough left over from the scrap room kit that I used last week for Tuesdays in the Attic. I was able just to use it up this week. So that was kind of nice. Different change of pace a little bit for getting some stuff used up. So I've got this beautiful paper that I didn't really want to cut apart, and I've got this full 12 by 12 of the cameras, and I decided to go kind of pattern on pattern crazy, but it ends up working because I have how I do it. It doesn't look too busy. So I have the beautiful like sunburst page. It doesn't go all the way across, which is fine, and I like that the sketch has those scallops. I'm not going to do big scallops, but I'm going to use my scallop punch and just take what I had left over, or a little bit off of that back of that, and make that a scallop punch and then trim it in half. So I have 2. But I inked it up with that same gray that I used on last week's, which was my Versamark Morning Mist. It's just a dark gray. So I inked that up to make it stand out just a little bit more. And then I will ink up as well the piece of paper I end up finding for that center column where the photos are going to go, which I just end up finding a gray piece of cardstock in my stash, which actually matches the gray in those cameras on the background paper like perfectly. It really brings your eye towards the photos because of how it's a dark gray with all this beautiful bright color behind it. So there it is. So I'm going to trim my photos down to the 3x3 just like in the sketch. And it does crop them down quite a bit, but I don't lose anything of what I'm trying to show off is his messy face, his silly face, and then him just mowing a cupcake. So I don't lose anything by trimming them down, so I'm fine with that. So I wasn't quite sure how big this paper would be, so I left it. I cut off the weird edge, and then I left it, and then I will add the photos, and then I'll trim it down after. But I matte my photos on black really quick, just to make them pop off a little more, and to bring some of that black in from the background paper. And then I decide, so in the sketch you can tell there's like a fancy edge on the left-hand side there. I'm just going to bring in some washi tape. So I'm going to bring in some more black. So I have this polka dot washi tape, which I don't make you watch me put it down because I was struggling with it. It was not wanting to stick where I wanted it to stick, and I kept ripping, and so I do rip it and do a ripped edge washi tape eventually. But then I remembered I had this like black kind of chalkboard looking journaling spot in my stash, so I grabbed that out, and it says Our Adventures on the top, and then it's like a bunch of it's like a list with boxes to cross out or to X off or check off. So for journaling, I will just like list all the things that he did at this little fall festival or prior to school festival that they had. And then I end up bringing in some acrylic like I had hoped last time, and some other things from my stash, mostly using the stickers from the sticker sheet. Tried to bring in this chipboard frame here in a little bit. You'll see that. I'm inking the edges of this as well. And then I'm going to glue that down. It goes on crooked, but it's fine. It just adds a little character. It does not go on straight at all, but that is not me. I am not someone who puts things on straight or cuts them straight at all, apparently. So no worries. Yeah, what else was I saying? Oh, yes, here's the washi. So I just kind of skipped through it because I didn't want you to have to suffer through that. It was quite painful, honestly, to watch that. Oh. So I'm putting a little bit of washi there where this cluster is. I really like that there's a cluster there. I like that there's kind of a cluster and banners underneath the title as well, but I didn't feel like cutting banners. So I'm just going to use one of the stickers. I do have this other tab that says enjoy. And so it says enjoy our adventure up there. And it kind of matches all the corally pinky red colors that are on the right hand side of the photos, and then I got all the blues on the left hand. And so I start clustering up one of the bottle caps and some of the flowers and the balloons, and I want to bring in this yellow chipboard frame. It ends up not working. The frame's just too big. If it were square, it'd be perfect. I end up ditching that. I do fuss with it for quite a bit, but I do end up ditching it and just grabbing one of the frames off the sticker sheet because there's frames right there. And then I put a little bit of foam underneath the balloons so they have some dimension over there. But just playing with the sticker sheet and just trying to figure out what goes where. And then I grabbed all my acrylic hearts, and I have these ones that hearts go inside hearts and they're white. And so I grabbed one that was bright blue and one that was like orange. And I'm going to put them in these two cluster spots, and I'll glue all that down. And I've remembered that I had an acrylic piece that said sweet treat, and it came with a bunch of other things. So here's me trying to find it. And so I do end up finding it, and it's bright pink, and then the letters inside sweet, the word sweet, are orange, and they're more clear, more see-through, less opaque than the word treat or the outline of sweet. So it's very fun. I love that. So I'm going to use that as my title, and then I have this sticker that says chill out with the popsicles below it, and they droop down like banners. So I feel like it gives you the same look. Right? That's what you just gotta do. The same looks. You don't have to do exactly as the sketch says, but the same looks. So here I'm still fussing around with that chipboard frame, and then I'll ditch it. Create my little cluster with the frame off the sticker sheet. Works even better. Glue everything down, and then I feel like it still needs something. I grab a Oh Happy Day, put that at the very bottom, and then some white Nuvo drops in chalk. So they're matte. They're the vintage drops, which I think are my favorite. But yeah, I've got those. I'm going to put some clusters down there. I fill in that whole list, and I put putting, ring toss, ball pit, bubbles, bounce house, obstacle course, bike race, fishing for a prize, cotton candy, cupcake, having fun, making memories, laughs, sunshine, big smiles together. And I X off all the boxes because that's, yeah, essentially what we did. That is everything. So I have some close-ups coming up for you. I apologize. I think I did last week too. I apologize for some of the photos. These are the super glossy photos, so they catch the glare really bad. So I didn't get to use my light box. So I did my best for editing, for brightness, but I think it turned out okay. But there is still some glare because it's so hard to get around, and I couldn't go outside because it's bitterly cold and there's snow all over. So downsides of being in Minnesota in the winter, trying to scrapbook and take good photos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.